Hi everyone, welcome to Cooking with Max in Southbridge, right here on Torrey Road at my home. And we have coming up the Thanksgiving season, which is just a wonderful holiday, as we all know. Really, it's one of my favorites. I mean, the purists out there will argue for Christmas, but Thanksgiving is guilt-free. No matter who you are, no matter how long you've been here, don't matter your gender, you're invited to eat turkey and to do another crazy American thing, watch football all day long, and sneak in a nap. Those are my big three for Thanksgiving. Now, some people, though, they run into a little problem with Thanksgiving. They're going to, grandma's house or somebody's house, and they go there and they get fed a beautiful turkey and they have no leftovers. Or there are some people who are just going to be alone or with one other person, but they're Americans, so they still have the right to celebrate Thanksgiving. So today, what we're going to do here on our cooking show is we're going to prepare a smaller Thanksgiving meal that you can either eat on Thanksgiving while you wallow on your couch and watch football, or you can just make some bodacious leftovers later on, like turkey sandwiches. So what I have is a turkey breast. You see me, I've been tamping it dry, and I'm cutting up these potatoes here, and I have a little bit of melted butter here, and I'm going to put it in this pan right here, a little bit like that. And these taters, I'll take one of them like that, and I'm knocking this butter all over the place. And now I'm going to lay these out like this, and the reason why is my turkey breast that I'm cooking for Thanksgiving for me and my two-person family for leftovers is going to sit right on top of these potatoes. And I'm cutting them like that. That's thick enough to where they will cook. And I'm also putting in some of these beautiful big carrot slices from a big carrot that I picked up down at Big Bunny yesterday. And they'll form a nice bed for Mr. Tom Turkey here, who will go in the oven, which you just heard go off. It's preheating to 450, and that's the temperature I want. Now, what we're going to do with it, Bird, before we put it on top of that, is we're going to put butter on it. So I have some melted butter here, and you're going to rub it into your Tom Turkey like so. Now, Maureen has a cousin, Joan Gatimus, and her husband, Tom Gatimus, is a bit of a gourmand, and he made a turkey once, and he brined it. He soaked he did a whole turkey, not a breast like I have, but he soaked it overnight in ice cold water with ice cubes and salt. And so I did the same with this, just cause it's going to make it more tender theoretically, and the breast is kind of the driest part. So I did that for a day and a half. I put salt, and I put the 4 seasonings from Paul Simon: parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, just like in the song, and let them soak for a while. So we covered that with butter. And now to that, we're going to put some salt, a little salt on here, a little salt. And then we're going to salt all the way inside too. And then also, we're going to put ground pepper, like so, all over it. Now, this is easy. This is for you people out there who don't really want to fuss and muss over Thanksgiving and would prefer to enjoy it in a more prone position, not spend the whole day in the kitchen. So that's what you have here. We took the bird, we took our turkey, we brined it, and then we put butter on it. And my wife insists I use this really good Irish butter, which has nothing to do with America and Thanksgiving, but my wife being Irish, she said this is the best butter. So I used it. And then I melted it, I put it on, then salt, then pepper, and I coated all my veggies, the potatoes and the carrots, in the bottom of this baking pan. You can use a wire rack, but I don't. I have veggies to keep it off. And then here she goes, Tom Turkey. Here he goes, Tom Turkey. Just like that. And what you're going to do, you're going to put it in your oven. You start it at 450, and right when you put it in, you turn it down to 350, and then you let it cook for an hour, and then you check it later. This one has one of these handy-dandy pop-up devices that a lot of turkeys have. Now, I don't trust them. I've had them in the past, and they've steered me astray. So I also have this meat thermometer. So we'll pull it out in an hour, and we'll check how it's doing. to make sure, and we'll watch this thing too, we'll be able to compare and see if it's accurate or not. So now she's beautiful. Turkey breast waiting to happen with veggies too. And so we're going to pop this in our oven right now. And then after we do that, we're going to get the rest of our very easy homespun and simple to do Thanksgiving leftovers waiting to happen meal ready to go. Let me put this in the oven, and then we will clean up a little bit, and we'll come right back and start the next step of the process right here on Cooking with Max in Southbridge. All right, we're back now. We got our bird in the oven. And now, my friends in Southbridge, Honest Town, we're going to start on step next of our easy Thanksgiving feast of all the stuff we love, but we don't feel like working that hard. So, you could broil fancy bread and use some wonderful savory herbs and make your own stuffing for Thanksgiving, because you have to have stuffing. Or you could get store-bought stuff like I did, because we're in a hurry to get back to football and we don't want to spend a ton of time on that. So what I did was I bought some of this here, store-bought stuff, and you have to add stuff to it. You need some chopped onion to go with it. You need butter, 5 tablespoons on the back there, which I'm already melting, the same beautiful Irish butter that Maureen insists that I use. So, but it wants some onion in this recipe, and I mean, friends, I love onion. Long-time watchers know that I use onion a lot, and I love chopping it, even though it can make me all emo sometimes, but that's okay. It's a price worth paying to get the beautiful onion. So we're chopping this guy up. I'm going to use some of it for the stuffing recipe, and I'm going to use some of it later on, because I also have gravy. I could make gravy with fat and take a chance and kind of thicken it down and make a roux and throw some flour and blah, blah, blah. Or I could buy a store-bought brand and jazz it up to a very serviceable gravy, which is what I'm going to do. And so most of these onions right here are going to go into my butter over here, which now I can see is bubbling nicely. There it is. You can see right there. That's about a cup full of it. Big chunks. I like big chunks. And that one, it also wants some celery. So let me do that too. I'll make this a little smaller though. Get that guy out of there, he's a leaf. And let me crunch him down a little more, because this is going to be stuffing. And the onions will mellow down a little and get softer. The celery will too, but not to the same extent. So I'm going to make them smaller pieces. And let me throw those into that butter also for my stuffing. Like that. You can see the beautiful the butter. All right, now we're going to let those saute for a minute, and then we're going to add our 2 cups of chicken bouillon that we poured earlier. But in the meantime, folks, now in America, we have corn. And America invented corn, right? It was here when we got here, right? Corn came from America, as did cranberry sauce, which came from right down the road, and which wouldn't be Thanksgiving, without it. And I mean, and honestly, you don't eat it any other time, but that's okay. So here we got our corn. We're going to put that in there in the meantime, too. You cook this warm it up. As you know, folks, it's already cooked. So here we go. Get the corn going. I'm going to take a little gander here. These guys getting nice and soft. All right. Now, we have our beautiful gravy. Now, I'm going to warm the gravy up. And it's good just the way it is. Turkey gravy, you almost have to have it. We have potatoes. It's part of the whole tradition. Football, gravy, all of that. But we're going to jazz them up a little bit. We're going to put some onion in it. We're going to put a little bit of mushroom that we'll chop up and put that in there too. So hopefully you give it a little more liveliness. But let me put it in here like this. start warming them up. All right, and let's cut up a few onions too. Now, I love football. I don't know if everybody feels that way, but I think football is a big part of Thanksgiving in my life. And the NFL did us all a favor by having 3 games now instead of 2. So we have 3 games on this Thanksgiving. We have, early on, we have the Lions. And the Lions host a game every year, as any football fan knows. The Lions are playing their division rival, the Vikings. And then later on in the afternoon at 4:30, the Chargers, the used to be San Diego, now LA Chargers, are playing the Dallas Cowboys, who also play every year. The Cowboys are one of those teams that plays every single year on Thanksgiving. Now, I'm not sure how I'd feel about that as a Dallas Cowboy player, like I'm getting hosed out of Thanksgiving every year. But I think it's a big honor. And then later on, the Redskins are playing the New York Giants, a division game. Now, folks, oh, look at these onions. Okay, I have way more than I need, but, you know. I'm going to put a few of them in that gravy, the store-bought gravy. Like that. And I'm going to take one of these mushrooms here and cut that guy up, too. So not only am I a cooking show host, but I'm also a football prognosticator. And I'm telling you right now who's going to win these football games. The first game, you've got the Lions and the Vikings. And the Lions are going to win because they play every Thanksgiving. Game number 2, you got the Chargers and the Cowboys. There we go. And the Chargers are going to win because everybody hates the Cowboys. And game 3 is the Redskins and the Giants. And the Giants are just a big train wreck this year. They just have nothing going right. They lost their best receiver. And the Redskins, meanwhile, are playing decent football. So they're going to win that game 3. So there's your winners. The Lions, the Chargers, and the Redskins. Because football is such a big part of Thanksgiving. All right, let me stir these guys up. You can see right in there. These are getting nice and not quite caramelized, but you can smell the sweetness coming out of those onions and that celery and that corn. I'll give it a quick stir. And my beautiful gravy with the mushroom and onion in it looks a whole lot more appetizing. We'll leave them on a low cook too. I think the corn is already done, and I'm just going to shut him off and put the cover on that one. Meanwhile, our turkey is coming right along. Let me find the right cover. Our turkey's coming right along, folks. Way too early to check. It's only been in there for 8 minutes, but, you know, patience pays off with a turkey. So there we have it. Now that our, as far as our our stuffing goes, now that we have these guys all sauteed up, we're going to add our 2 cups of chicken broth and put that back on there. Turn them over here. I love a gas oven because you can control the heat so much better. We used to have an electric, and I prefer the gas. And now we take our big old bag of stuffing, store-bought. Who said Thanksgiving has to be difficult? And we're going to fold it in. Now, according to the instructions on the bag, let me just stir that right in there. See if I can get this guy going. Yeah. Oh, this is a lot of stuffing. This is going to feed 8 to 10, I promise you. But I need to have it because it wouldn't be Thanksgiving, you know, without it. Yeah, that's a better fit. All right, we'll let them cook for a little while. All right, and the last thing we got to do, and this is the cool part. Now, my mom would always have cranberries, and it's the only time of the year, you know, that you eat cranberry. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. But so we have a can of cranberry, and the key to the cranberry is that you got to extract it from the can in such a way that the integrity of the little lines remains intact. And this, my friends, is a skill. And I'm going to test myself on TV. A lot of pressure, but I think I can do this. Take our butter knife, using the dull edge. You insert them in your can like this. And you curl them around snuggy as you can against the edge of the can. Oh my goodness. I think I'm all the way. Oh my God. Be still my heart. Look at this beauty. You got the mojo lines around the center just like it was made that way. So yeah, success. Success here on Thanksgiving with my cranberry sauce. All right, so let me turn them sideways for just a, presentation like that. So there's the cranberry sauce, the corn, and everybody else, the stuffing, and the gravy, which I better turn down before I burn it. Oh, it's beautiful. Are all coming along nice. So we got them ahead of the game. We got everything else ready. And now we're just going to wait on our beautiful turkey. And after an hour, we'll take it out and we'll check the temperature. And all this other stuff is ready to go pretty much. And then we'll be ready to eat. And then we'll have a house full of leftovers to boot. So we'll check back a little further down the road when our turkey's almost done. Right here on Cooking with Max in Southbridge. All right, folks, I think our turkey is done. I just heard the buzzer go off. We're going to check it right now. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, the beautiful bird. And let's check. We're looking for 165 degrees. And it's coming right along. And you don't want to cook it too long. I stuck the thermometer right in the fat part of the breast there toward the middle. And we are at 165. Our little popper thing didn't go up, but the thermometer tells us we're at 165, which is perfect. So now we're going to let them cool off for 10-15 minutes. We're going to carve them off the breast. And then we are going to start to eat our delicious meal with our corn. Some gravy on the top. The potatoes and carrots are in there, all cooked delicious. And our beautiful stuffing. We'll put gravy on everything, of course. And how could you even think of eating the whole mess without some beautiful cranberry locally? American food, American food, American food. Guillermo, thank you for helping with the production, sir.
All right, Max, it was a good time.
Yeah, we got plenty to eat too. So that's it, and we'll go watch some football and see how that goes right here on Cooking with Max. Hey everybody in Southbridge. So we all know that Thanksgiving is a magic time, as we've just heard with football and that nap about the third quarter of that first game after you've stuffed yourself and the tryptophan kicks in. But the real magic of Thanksgiving is later on down the week when you have all the wonderful leftovers and you get to make sandwiches, which is what I'm going to do right now. So I got over here my pumpernickel rye bread, because I just love it, that I bought down in my favorite store, Big Bunny. And everything we cook, most of it is going to go right on this sandwich. And it's wonderful. And it's only one time a year that this kind of magic can happen to you. And it's Thanksgiving once you have all this stuff. So anyway, I'm taking some of my leftover turkey and I'm putting them on my little pumpernickel. And on top of that, we're going to put a little bit of our gravy, because we're crazy for gravy. And we put it right on top. Delicious. And some of our corn growing right here in beautiful America, like that. And how could we do this magical sandwich without some of our stuffing that we had, which we're going to put on like that? Oh my goodness, a little mountain of joy that we're building, friends. Okay, like that. And last but certainly not least, we have the big kahuna for our sandwich. Mr. Canned formed cranberry right over here, like that. because it just wouldn't be a Thanksgiving sandwich without that on there too. So there you got it, all your good stuff, your turkey, your con, your dressing, and your cranberry. And that, friends, is why Thanksgiving is the gift that keeps on giving. 4 days later, eh? Look at that. Delicioso. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I appreciate you coming by my house here on Torrey Road in beautiful Southbridge. We whipped it up for Thanksgiving. We did it in a way that was easy. It didn't take a ton of time. It created a whole bunch of leftovers and left you lots of times to root for your least or most favorite football team of the 3 games playing here, and time for a nap as well, and leftovers. Thank you, Big Bunny, for all the food. Thanks to Dexter Russell, which is a local knife maker, and I use their tools because they're wonderful. And thanks to Donna Talbot, who embroiders all my stuff and does such a swell job. And thank you, Southbridge, for watching me here on Thanksgiving. And thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you. And we'll see you around on Cooking with Max in Southbridge.